Hello YouTube. Well, this is another project, something a little bit off the sawing subject. This is my homemade do-it-yourself cable railing system. This is my swimming pool and it's getting close to swimming season. We are at May the 3rd, so this is the old railing. I built this deck back in 2007 and it has seen better days. So the rails they're rotting, getting looser. Right where the gate's at, you can see that literally is just falling apart. So it's time to upgrade here. So I had got myself some square box tubing from up at the sawmill. This stuff was laying around up there. Picked it up very inexpensively, and I'll show you how I made each one of these uprights, how I cut the bird's mouth, and how we drilled the holes and laid it all out. And we'll go into how we attach it to the deck, and we'll just give you a little bit instructional on how I did this. And there's a lot of stuff on Amazon that you can buy that makes this even look more professional. And then when you get down to the other end, you can see we have the turnbuckles. This is how you actually tighten it. Then you cut them flush after you get everything tensioned. So let's get on to the metal shop here and we'll get started on making some of the uprights. Okay. And what I had done is I made up just a simple jig. This is nothing more than a piece of oriented strand board, a couple pieces of rough cut pine with a good jointed edge on it, a couple hold down clamps. Of course, clamp this down to your drill press table. And this is an old Atlas drill press. So this thing is old. And what I like to do is set the drill bit up so it actually will go through the tubing and help hold itself. And this is a 2-inch hole saw because we're going to be using 2-inch pipe to actually saddle into that. Also, some sort of lubricant. This happens to be Drill Chill. So spray a little path there, and then down below you're going to be coming through it again. And I like to go down through the whole thing. Take your time. It's going to make some noise. It's going to make smoke. So don't get panicked. We're not burning the joint down. So once the pilot hole goes through, now comes the fun time. You're going to see a little bit of 4th of July going on here. But take your time. Yeah, I know I don't have gloves on. And if you don't get in a hurry, it'll take care of the job. Take it all the way to the other side very slowly. You don't want it walking out. All right, and I think we are through. So we'll go ahead and remove it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we took it out of the drill press, and this will get trued back up on a chop saw, and we'll get this sharp edge off of here. Now here's the actual piece we're going to use for the railing, and you can see how nice of a fit up that is. So we're going to go ahead and get the other ones notched, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to lay out for the holes, and we'll get them all drilled for the cable. So we'll talk to you in a couple minutes. Okay, the next step is to lay out the holes. And what I have is the bird's mouth, and the top of the template is where you start at, because this will be from the pipe down. In this case, we're putting 3 1/4 inch on center holes, and we're putting 11 locations. So basically, hold it flush. I use a real small drill bit, and you don't want to drill through it. You just want just enough to mark it. And it's better than using a pencil line. It's a pencil line you can lose pretty easy. This will leave a nice little shiny spot. And once we get these all laid out, we'll go over to the drill press on the same jig that we had made for the bird's mouth, and we'll drill our through holes, and these will be ready for primer. So, and there'll be one more step before we're ready for that point. Okay, there we go. There's our 11 locations. So we'll go ahead and get the drill press set up, and you can see the little shiny divots there, and there's our hole location. So we'll go get the drill press set up. I'll be with you here in a second. All right, we have the drill bits set up in the drill press, and I had bought these little stainless steel grommets. These will go into the box tubing on both sides. The stainless steel strands go through here, and this keeps a nice clean look, and also there won't be no rust developing around the actual hole where the cable goes through. So they give you the bit. It's approximately a 1/4 inch bit, I don't know, but they make it really tight, so when you drive that thing through there, it stays. It don't wobble around. So we're going to drill through both sides of the tubing. This way it's going through nice and square. I want my chuck key. And just make sure that you got the right, there we go. You got the right hole. And we'll go ahead and repeat this process in all of our tubes. And then we're going to drill 2 more holes in the bottom to fasten it to the deck. So I'll be with you here in a second. Okay, I laid out for 2 more holes, and I'm going to use this 1/4 inch bit for a pilot hole, because we're going to put a 3/8 hole through here, and this will be for the actual carriage bolts that will hold this down into place. This will hold it to the deck. So, and they are drilled the opposite directions of our cables. But this jig puts it all centered, and I do have another drill press set up with the 3/8 bit in it. I'm not going to bore you with that. So we're going to go ahead and get everything drilled here, and our next step will be to get everything cleaned up, ready for primer. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, we're getting there. Basically, we got them cut to length, we got them drilled for the bolts to hold them, and we got them drilled for the cables to go through, and we got them bird's mouth. Next step is get ready for primer. Random orbital sander, 80 grit paint. These are galvanized. Now, there's controversy on how you should treat galvanized. This galvanized has been laying out in the weather for a long time. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but if this was freshly galvanized product, they do make special primers available to treat the primer or treat the galvanized. Or you could just leave it go natural. Only bad thing is you're going to be doing some welding up there, and they do make galvanized touch-up paint if you like that look. I'm going for like a shiny aluminum. So we'll go ahead and get this sanded up. You don't have to. What you're looking for is just getting rid of all the dirt and grime. And that takes that burr away on there too, right where the drill bits, you'll feel these little burrs. That's about all you need to do. And then these guys here, these will be the little grommets, and they'll go in after it's painted. And they're really a tight fit. You got to actually drive them in there, but they fit really nice, and they don't move on you. So we'll go ahead and get these sanded up, and all we're going to do is wipe it down with some lacquer thinner with a rag, and we're going to go ahead and hit it with just some Rust-Oleum primer. And we're not going to take too much time up top because we're going to be cleaning this back up to get a weld on it. But if you get all this painted down further, when you go to install it, you don't have to paint around the bottom of the deck, which was the mistake I made on the first part. So that was my learning. And when I do my upper deck, we got a lot to do upstairs, and it's going to be all stainless steel box tubing, and I'm going to no paint, no nothing, so that'll be the finish on it. So we'll get these painted up, and next step will be start tearing off the old railing and getting these things mounted. We'll talk to you then. Okay, we got a little start on the railings on the other side here. So I literally cut the hole through the deck, and I just used a piece of the scrap cutoffs to make the tracing with it. And this is the other corner. So what I'm going to do is set the two corners and then stretch a line between the two, and then that way that middle post will come in dead flat with it. This deck has a little bit of a sag in it, so I got one bolt in here already, so I'm going to set you up so you can see what we're doing here. So I got one in, got a little torpedo level on here. We'll go ahead and drill the bottom hole through. And a nice sharp bit really helps. I don't know if anybody owns Drill Doctors, but boy, do they make a nice edge on that. I sharpen it up periodically while we're going here. So I also put some Never Seez on this, so if we ever have to take this loose for any reason, we'll go ahead and drive this through. And we're just going to washer it and nut it. And then there'll be one more post that will sit right here in the form of this outside corner. And this is going to be my hinge point for my gate. So I want to make sure that that's good and tight. So we'll get these snugged up. Get the other couple set here. And then we're going to turn our attention to that top rail. It's just a piece of pipe. And it's... I'll show you over here, and it's nothing more than just a piece of 2-inch pipe that welds onto them saddles, and then your cable stretched through. So we'll go ahead and get these other couple set, and we'll be with you here shortly. Okay, this will be the end of our first part series of this cable rail, but we got all 4 of the uprights set. I'm just giving you the basics. I'm not getting into too much detail, but you can see everything's through bolted through the deck, and it gives you a nice clean look when it comes through. Again, this deck was built in 2007, and I'll trim this down to the final length here. That's why I cut it rough. But this gives me the option to weld this piece in a controlled environment instead of, you can see that it can be fit perfectly. But this will get all welded up, and then when it's all finished, this one here I had to weld in place, and that's fun to do when you're doing it in place. When you can do it in a vise or something and really take your time. But everything else will get, basically we're just gonna give it a little bit of an under weld just to hold it to the top of that post, and that's the finished product. And this here just needs just a little bit of welding, a little bit of final sanding, and we'll give it the final coat of paint, and then we'll show you how we do the cable. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this video, something different, and this will be the Friday Eve video. It's too rainy, it's too nasty out, and Eddie and I decided not to do any sawing during the evening, so we got a lot of sawing coming up. So give you something different. I hope you like it, and we will see you Saturday morning up at the mill with the Eddie Horvath. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.